I am Balaam, and this is my story. The smoke from my morning offering had barely thinned into the sky over Pethor when I heard the dogs begin to bark at the edge of the village. Not the bark of alarm, the bark of strangers, important strangers. I set down the knife I had been cleaning and wiped the fat from my hands onto my robe, my heart already doing the small, calculating dance it always did when men of standing came looking for me. I will not pretend humility I did not have. Men came from Aram and beyond to find me. Kings, chieftains, merchants who needed to know whether a caravan route was blessed or cursed, whether a marriage would prosper, whether a war should be fought in spring or autumn. I knew how to listen. I knew how to read the flight of birds and the color of a liver pulled steaming from a slaughtered animal. And more than that, the true God, the God of Israel, whom even we in Aram had heard whispered about with a strange mixture of fear and respect, sometimes spoke to me. I did not summon him. He came when he came. That was always the part I could never fully master, and it frightened me more than I ever told anyone. When the elders walked into my courtyard, I knew before they opened their mouths that this was no small errand. There were two delegations, elders of Moab in their dust-colored robes, and elders of Midian beside them, an alliance stitched together out of terror. Their camels still steamed from the road. In their hands, wrapped in cloth, was the unmistakable weight of a diviner's fee, silver, and plenty of it. Balaam, son of Beor, the eldest of them said, bowing just enough to show respect without groveling, "We come from Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab." I had heard of Balak. Everyone from the Euphrates to the Salt Sea had heard by now of the people who called themselves Israel, the vast multitude that had walked out of Egypt, that had swallowed up two Amorite kings, Sihon and Og, the way a flood swallows a riverbank village. Balak's men did not need to explain. I could see the fear sitting behind their eyes like a stone. "Behold, a people has come out of Egypt," the elder said, and his voice trembled just slightly on the word Egypt, as though even saying it summoned the horror. "They cover the face of the earth, and they are settling next to us. Come now, curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall be able to defeat them and drive them from the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed." I looked at the silver in their hands. I will confess to you, because I promised myself I would be honest in the telling of this. I looked at that silver longer than I should have. A man does not become known through Aram and Moab and Midian without a certain hunger for being needed, for being the one kings send for. There is a warmth in that kind of importance that a man can mistake, if he is not careful, for the favor of God. "Lodge here tonight," I told them, "and I will bring back word to you as the Lord speaks to me." That night I did not sleep easily. I lay on my mat listening to the Moabite delegation murmuring outside, the small sounds of camels shifting their weight, and I turned the request over and over in my mind like a stone I could not stop handling. Curse them. Just curse them, and the silver is yours, and the favor of a king besides. And then God came. I cannot describe to you what it is to have God speak into the darkness of your own tent. It is not like a dream, though it comes in the stillness of night. It is not like a voice heard with the ear, though it is unmistakably heard. It presses on you the way the sea presses on a diver, a weight from every direction at once, and you understand in your bones that you are very small and very known. Who are these men with you? He asked. Not because he did not know, I understood even then, but because he wanted me to say it aloud, to hear myself confess what I had already half agreed to in my heart. I told him. I told him of Balak, of the fear of Moab, of the request to curse this people. And the Lord said to me plainly, with no room left for my clever interpretations, "You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed." Blessed, the word landed on me strangely. I was a man who dealt in blessings and curses as a trade, the way another man deals in wool or grain. But this was different. This was not a spell to be cast. This was a people God himself had already spoken over. Who was I, Balaam of Pethor, to lay my hand against what the Almighty had already lifted up? In the morning I rose, and I will admit some relief mixed with the sting of lost honor, and told the princes of Moab plainly, "Go to your land, for the Lord has refused to give me leave to go with you." They left with heavy faces. I told myself I had done right. I told myself the matter was closed. It was not closed. Balak was not a king who accepted refusal easily. Weeks later, my courtyard filled again, this time with more princes and more distinguished ones than the first company, their robes finer, their words honeyed with promises. "Let nothing hinder you from coming to me," Balak's message said, "for I will surely honor you richly, and I will do whatever you say to me. Come, curse this people for me." I felt the old pull again, stronger this time, dressed up in flattery. And I said the right words. I told them, though Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not go beyond the word of the Lord my God, to do less or more. I meant it when I said it. I want you to know that. It was not a lie on my lips. But then I did something I have turned over in my heart 1,000 times since, lying awake in the years that followed. I said, "Please stay here tonight also, that I may know what more the Lord will say to me." Do you see it? I already knew what he had said. He had said no, but some part of me, the part that loved the weight of silver in my palm, the part that loved being the man kings sent for, wanted him to say it again, hoping perhaps the answer might have softened. We do this, do we not? We ask a question we already know the answer to, hoping God will grow tired of saying no. That night, God came again, and this time, he said something that still unsettles me to consider. "If the men have come to call you, rise, go with them, but only the word that I speak to you, that you shall do." I have wondered for the rest of my life whether that permission was a gift or a warning dressed as a gift, whether God was giving me what my own heart had been straining toward, so that the danger of that road might teach me something silver never could. I rose in the gray hush before dawn and saddled my donkey myself, the same gentle, sure-footed creature who had carried me faithfully over rocky passes and through river fords for years without a single stumble, without a single moment of stubbornness. I trusted that donkey the way a man trusts his own 2 feet. I set out with 2 of my servants, the princes of Moab riding ahead of us, and for the first stretch of road I felt almost light-hearted. The matter was settled. God had given leave. I was going. Then my donkey stopped. We were on the open road, nothing before us but scrub and stone, and she simply planted her feet and turned off the path into a field, ears flat against her skull, breathing hard through flared nostrils as though something enormous stood in front of her. I did not see anything. I only felt the jolt of my own fury rising, hot and sudden, and I struck her with my hand to turn her back onto the road. A little further on, the road narrowed between two vineyard walls, stone pressing close on either side, barely wide enough for a cart to pass. My donkey balked again, and this time, in her panic to escape whatever stood before her, she pressed hard against the wall and crushed my foot against the stone. Pain shot up through my leg like fire, and I struck her again, harder, cursing her under my breath, feeling the eyes of Balak's princes on my back, feeling my dignity bleeding out of me in front of these foreign lords who already thought too little of a hired diviner riding a common donkey. Then the path narrowed further still. No room now to turn right or left, walls of rock on both sides, and my donkey did something she had never once done in all the years I had ridden her. She lay down. She simply folded her legs beneath her and lay down in the road with me, still on her back. And something in me broke loose. All the frustration of 2 long journeys, the sting of my crushed foot, the shame of these men watching me flounder. It poured out of me in one motion, and I struck her a 3rd time with my staff, harder than I had ever struck an animal in my life. And then my donkey spoke to me. I do not know how to make you feel what that moment was. A voice, her voice, and yet not merely an animal's sound, but words, clear Aramaic words shaped from that beast's throat, asked me, "What have I done to you that you have struck me these 3 times?" I did not stop to marvel at the impossibility of it. I was too far gone in my own rage. "Because you have made a fool of me," I shouted at her. "I wish I had a sword in my hand, for now I would kill you." "Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden all your life to this day?" she said. "Have I ever been in the habit of doing this to you before?" And in the sudden silence that followed, some small, clear part of my mind, the part not yet consumed by fury, answered, honestly, quietly, "No." In that pause between her question and my answer, something shifted in the air around me, the way the air shifts before a storm breaks. And then the Lord opened my eyes. I saw him. The angel of the Lord, standing in the road exactly where my donkey had refused to go, a drawn sword gleaming naked in his hand, his face turned toward me with an intensity that stripped away every pretense I had ever worn. My knees gave way beneath me before I had even decided to kneel. I fell on my face in the dust of that narrow path, my crushed foot forgotten, my pride forgotten, every ounce of the important man King sent for gone from me in an instant. I was nothing before him. I was less than nothing. "Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times?" he said, and his voice held both thunder and grief. "Behold, I have come out to oppose you, because your way is perverse before me. The donkey saw me and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, surely I would have killed you by now and let her live." I understood then what I had nearly missed entirely, that my donkey, dumb and burdened and beaten, had seen more clearly than I had. She had seen the danger and turned from it 3 times, absorbing my blows rather than my death. I, the seer, the man other men paid to see what was hidden, had been blind on my own road while a donkey saw the sword of God. "I have sinned," I said into the dust, unable to lift my face. "I did not know you stood in the road against me. Now, if it displeases you, I will turn back." The angel's answer did not release me from the journey. "Go with the men," he said, "but you shall speak only the word that I speak to you." I rose from that road a different man than the one who had saddled his donkey in the gray dawn. My foot ached the whole way to Moab, and I welcomed the ache. It kept me honest, a small daily reminder of how close I had come to dying on a road I thought I understood. I have thought often, in the years since, about how easily we mistake permission for approval, and how the road God allows us to walk is not always the road He is pleased to watch us walk carelessly. I have thought about how a donkey, an animal with no reputation, no silver, no crowd of kings seeking her counsel, saw the sword of the Almighty before the great seer of Pethor saw anything at all. Pride blinds even prophets. It is not the wise or the important who are guaranteed to see God moving. Sometimes it is the humble, the burdened, the ones we strike without a second thought, who see Him first. When I finally stood before Balak in Moab, silver and honor laid out before me exactly as promised, I opened my mouth to curse Israel, and blessing came out instead. 4 times I tried, in some hidden corner of my heart, to find a way to give the king what he paid for. 4 times only the word God gave me came from my lips. I learned on that road, and I never fully unlearned it. A man may be granted the path he insists on walking, but he does not thereby escape the sword waiting to meet him upon it. What God has blessed, no diviner, no king, and no silver can curse. If you have been blessed by this story, subscribe, like, and share it with a friend.